baby. It is that time, and I am pumped up for tonight's show because every single Thursday we bring you guys people that are doing it in the industry. This one happens to be after my own heart. This is somebody that we've been able to touch with before you go pro. Now he is just taking the game to the whole new level. He's a Super Bowl champion, so we're going to get into that too. But tonight is going to be electric, you guys, and you're going to get a lot of advice, so I don't want to wait any longer. You see my man to the far right with the shades that hold down every single week. What's going on, Guru? You back at the sports bar?
Yeah, man, I'm posted, man. I'm here. I'm a permanent fixture here now, like the furniture. So I'm chilling. We gonna have a good show, man. We got an awesome guest. So yeah, definitely.
There you go. Guru at the sports bar. He's making it happen in Houston. But tonight, it's about the gentleman in the middle of the screen. This is somebody that was a bad man himself, you guys, on the football field. He's transitioned that into becoming a world-class strength and conditioning coach, and that is none other than great Dustin Woods. What's going on, Dustin?
Hey, what's going on, man? Pleasure to be here, man. I love this. Love this, man. Blasting the Blast, doing a great job. Love what you do always, man. So I'm very, very, very fortunate to be here. So thank you.
Yes, indeed. I'm pumped up for tonight's show, you guys. And we've had Dustin on before. Like I said, he's one of our own. I've known Dustin since he was racking up yards in the MAC conference. He was an elite wide receiver at Miami of Ohio, you guys. And then, like I said, he's transitioned that into becoming one of the young, hot coaches in the NFL. He actually even has some Olympic gold medals underneath his belt as a coach. And he's been around the best of the best, you guys. The best athletes in the world respect him. They trust him. And tonight we're going to get some of his advice and his guidance. So truly happy about tonight's show. So let's get into it, Dustin. I mean, as I said in the intro, man, you were one hell of a player yourself. And I remember those days. We were thinking maybe the Dolphins and some other school or organizations looking at you. And you said, you know what, coach, I'm ready to hang it up. And you did it pretty quickly. What made you hang up the shoulder pads and cleats so quickly?
Yeah, man. You know what? I think if I'm being honest, one of the things was I didn't grow up playing football. It wasn't a lifelong dream, right? But it came on late in my high school career just because I was a good athlete. You know, I played baseball. So while it was hard, you know, projected to get drafted, and everybody's got their story, and it just didn't happen. And I think one of the things on my side was that I was not I had a great family, great father, great mother, great examples, and I was not a one-dimensional individual. It's like in sports, you never want to be a one-dimensional player. You want to be able to shoot. You want to be able to dribble. You want to be able to catch the ball. You want to be able to run with the ball. You don't want to be one-dimensional. And it's the same thing in life. And I grew up in a way where I had other passions. I loved playing the drums. You know, growing up in church. I also was a young coach. My brother was a coach. So like I had a passion of coaching. My father was a mentor and a coach. So I had other passions in life. And I had another little bonus where I got married early. You know, me and my wife now, at least we've been together since we was 14 years old. And, you know, I got married. I was still in college. And so it's like, man, I can't play the game of chasing the dream. I got a life to live. I have a purpose to live. I have some other things I know that I can do. And my faith in the Lord Jesus Christ really just allowed me to feel comfortable knowing he'll provide no matter what. So it was difficult to hang it up because I felt like I fell short. But, you know what, I just wasn't one-dimensional. And I felt very confident that, man, I can serve, you know, within my gift in other areas. And then from there, I had just opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to try not to mess that up. You know, and I was very blessed within the process. But yeah, I also think of the story of there's a guy named I got to meet Quincy Avery. I don't know if you ever heard the story of Quincy Avery. He's a quarterback coach, and he kind of had a very similar story. You know what I mean? And now he thought he was going to play football, thought he was going to be a college quarterback, and he ended up, you know, not doing that. Even his father was a coach in the NFL, ended up not doing that. He had to struggle to get a job, and he was really struggling. And now he's one of the coaches of my guy Jalen Hurts, and he's been coaches for Deshaun Watson, and he's a great quarterback coach. So it's things
Wow.
stories like that you really have to, as a youngster, look into and know because you cannot be one dimensional. Cannot be one.
That's amazing, Dustin. And yeah, I could tell right away the first time I met you that you were articulate and intelligent and had big goals. What would you tell the young man that just finished up at UCLA or at Auburn and maybe he went to the CFL and he's wondering if he should keep going? What would you tell to that young man?
Yeah, I would tell that young man, like, you know, there's a gift that we all have, and you have to be realistic. We got a life to live, and even when you make the NFL and you do make the dream, there comes a time where they will be done with you. I've seen, all pro guys. When they retire, when they're done with you, and now you're sitting here. You may be luckily 30 years old, and you're asking yourself, what am I going to do? You're eventually going to get there. It does not mean you got to stop playing ball and chasing a dream now. As long as you are taking care of your responsibilities, if you got a family, you need to make sure they're coming first. But as long as you're chasing that dream, you need to be doing a little something on the side that's going to kick in the gear as soon as you are done. You do not want to stop playing and then be like, what am I going to do? Because now you're fighting an uphill battle of what am I going to do? And I got nothing rolling. There's enough going on in this world with social media, with AI, with all of these things. And as an athlete, you already learn so much. You can, if you pay attention when you're going through strength training, when you're doing your workouts, man, you can go to your local gym and easily become a trainer and make a couple bucks here and there. So you got to prepare while you're chasing your dream. Again, you can't be one dimensional. You got to put in a little bit of effort, a little bit of work for the longevity of your life, because you're going to sooner or later have kids or other people that's going to be looking up to you to tell them what you have done, not what you just should have done.
Amen to that, man. And you've always been somebody that's thought about the bigger picture. So I can definitely appreciate that. Beautiful family, and just so proud of what you've been doing, man. Let's get into the next topic. And Guru, we're going to get you in here in a second. But I wanted to I couldn't let Dustin come in with all of the amazing people that he's been around, the elite athletes, the Olympians, Super Bowl champions. I couldn't let this show go by, Dustin, without asking you, man, what have you picked up watching these guys? Whether it was the Chinese speed skating Olympic team that you helped coach, or whether it's these Super Bowl champions with the Eagles, give our audience maybe 2 or 3 things as far as the mindset of some of these guys that you're seeing day in, day out.
Yeah, that's a great question. I appreciate you asking that too. And I'm just seeing the pictures too of it, man. Sometimes I forget some of the greatness that I have been around, and I'm not going to take credit and say like I'm always a specific or a huge part of them, but it's a piece of the journey. And you're around. I forget that sometimes I'm around the people that other coaches and just individuals just would die to be around. But with some of the elite people and that I have close relationships with, and I'll just be honest, and this is not a bragging or gloating, but I had close relationships with Aaron Donald when I was with the Rams, with Cooper Kupp, with right now it's Jalen Hurts, who I'm with every day. Very close to Brandon Cooks. I mean, just the elite of the elite, Brandon Graham, who's putting in about to be 14, 15 years now. And these are guys that I am close to, that I can, whatever. And what I notice from them is that they understand that to have lasting success, it's just not built on success alone, or it's not built on talent alone. Okay. You got to have talent plus a lot of other things. That's going to be wisdom, that's going to be how you work. And that's just about hard work, but how you work. You got to have good discernment. You got to have a maturity level. And one of the things that I often talk about, especially at this level, because at lower levels, you can get away with just talent, but it always catches up, right? So while you're young, it's not just about doing, like the process of doing, like I'm going to wake up and go work out, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It's more so the process of the becoming, like becoming the type of player or becoming the type of man or player, or woman, girl, athlete that does these types of things. So not just doing them, but becoming the type of person who does these types of things. So you're changing your character. You're changing and altering who you are to the person who has no choice but to do that, because that's just who I am. And that's what I see in the strongest of. And even seeing this picture of Saquon. Saquon's been a blessing to me too, man, and to our team, because he came in and brought like his personality of who he is, exactly what I'm saying, and kind of changed the dynamics of our team that was much needed, where there was just some controversy, you know what I mean? And his positivity, just who he was, just brought a different light. And he could not turn that off, because that's just not something that it's something that he has become. It's not just something that he does every day. So he's the same every day. You know what I'm saying? So, that's one of the things I see in some of these athletes. And the last thing I'll say, I don't want to get too wordy, but the great ones, they have figured out the humility to submit. And I know that word submission has all different kind of implications.
Yeah, explain that
but
to
really,
us.
when you break it down, submission is placing yourself under the mission. So it's like ultimate humility, right? So it's your ability to be mindful enough and humble enough to, number one, take on a mentor. You know what I mean? Pull the coattail of somebody who has been there before, even if they didn't reach the peak. Mentors are trying to give us 10 years of pain and struggle and all that in a day or in 10 hours or whatever it might be. They have the best. So whether that's a parent, whether that's a coach, you know what I mean? But you have to submit to things that are bigger than you. If it's the team, you just have to submit yourself on the team. But they all have a sense of understanding what it means to submit. You know what I mean? And again, you have to understand the real definition of that. It's not giving up. It's just being under a mission as a whole, whether that's for your life or for your team.
Wow, that's big. And that's probably harder for a lot of athletes today as they come to this NIL era to really submit to a bigger picture. But thank you for sharing that. That's big. Guru, we're going to put you into action now that you got the sports bar action behind you. And we got to see. I don't know what Guru got in his cup. We're going to say that for Locker Room After Dark. But for the next topic, we got time to care, Guru. I see the money that these college coaches are making. I see the pressure that these college coaches are under, Guru. You saw what happened to James Franklin at Penn State. Is there still time to care, Guru? If I'm Lane Kiffin and I gave Sam Levitt $4 million, is it just all about the production now that the money has come into play?
And what did you just say? The amount of money that these coaches are getting paid is insane, right? So it's like, man, everything has got to be now. Like T, we just said last week on last week's episode, man, LSU's got the best team that money can buy. Like, you have to look at it. You're talking about man for man as far as like potential draft picks. LSU can probably match up with a lower tiered NFL team and probably line up and beat them man for man. And I'll bet money on that. That's how much they spent. Like I said, they went to Colorado and just took, your left tackle that we know is going first round, right? So it's too much money, man. It's too much of an investment, and you have a very, very small window, whether you're Belichick, Kiffin, whoever you might be as far as a head coach in a Power 5, with that type of check getting dropped in your account, man, it's today or nothing.
Okay, so Guru says no, there's no time to pat you on your back and play patty cake. It's let's perform, and this is pro ball now. We're paying you high six figures, millions of dollars. Dustin, talk to me. Do you think that these coaches can still mentor these young men as people, or do you think that that's kind of out the door?
Man, in short, knowing some of the guys that I know, like Devontae Smith, and that have encountered probably one of the greatest college coaches in Nick Saban, who walked away probably because he knew that he could no longer do that the way that he knows it should be done. I think that speaks measures, you know. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think the system it works against them. You know what I mean? So that's my short answer. When you see one of the greats walk away like that, because he cannot function the correct way ethically, not him personally, but it's just stacked up against him that way. I would say no. I agree. I agree with the guru.
Okay, so Guru, I mean, if Penn State comes into my house, if Florida State comes into my house and they say they're gonna mentor my son and thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, we're gonna make him into a man. Is that just propaganda?
I mean, man, it's not just propaganda, man. I mean, that's why that's the purpose for the Before You Go Pro program, man. We trying to help, man, these parents, man, vet these coaches properly, right? Because unfortunately, man, if you got a 4 or 5 star killer, that you raising in your house, man, these coaches, man, are gonna say and do whatever they need to get your son to come ball for him, man, because they know that automatically they're on the hot seat because they just got cut an $8 million check, right? So it's no holds barred right now. My whole question is in regards to these coaches and kind of going back what I wanted to comment on with the previous section we were touching on, that Justin, when you got guys like, Saquon, some of these guys are just absolute genetic freaks. How do you what about the kids that are just freaky as far as ability but don't have that mindset? What the hell do you do with them? How do you deal with that? That's the question that I have with a lot of these coaches, because it's like you're getting paid all this money, but how do you keep these kids in line and at least get them to buy into, okay, how do we get through this season? Because, yeah, we know we have a bunch of freak athletes, but their egos, are even bigger than their numbers are.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great point, Dustin. I mean, we were talking off air about these kids already coming to the league with money. Have you found it difficult to get the fire started with some of these young men?
Yeah, it can be difficult. It can be difficult, and you hope that you have them long enough to almost break that shell, or you have, to be honest, a veteran presence that allows them to see the bigger picture. And that was something good for us. Is why Brandon Graham came out of retirement, and I know he was supposed to be that for our locker room guys, for some of the young guys like Jalen Carter, and for Jordan Davis, the Georgia guys. But it can be very difficult, and some of the authority is stripped away with some of these kids and some of the situations that we're in. Like if we're supposed to hold them to a weight. But man, it's hard to even hold them to that and hold their fire to that, because they're always going to find the path of least resistance. They're going to go to another coach and say, man, this person tried, man, and they're going to find that path. And it can be frustrating. It can be frustrating. And like coaches don't always have the ability to. We really got to do our best to gain their trust through relationships. And if you can do that, it's a plus, but it's still a difficult process.
When you have, these kids coming in and it's like, well, what do you do with this kid? Because he's coming into the league. He's already worth 10 million, 15 million, right? Coming in. So it's like, how do you keep the work ethic at a level where you need it to be to make them a better player and do your job? Because they're like, I'm already paid. Like, I'm in the league, but it's like, man, I had, nice size NIL deals since I've been through school. I'm already coming in with bread. It's not like when we were in school, we were hungry. We had no money. So it's like, it was whatever we needed to do. And our work ethic stayed at a high level. But if you coming in with bread already, it's like, I can do a year in the league. I don't need to do my 5 years and get my pension. So that's why I always wonder with these NFL coaches, man, from the strength coach all the way up to the GMs, how do you keep these kids at a level mentally that you need them to be to perform at? They already rich.
Yeah, and I guess that's the secret sauce in the scouting and the coaches to figure that out, and that's why some organizations like the Eagles are better than others. So yeah, appreciate you. That's a new dynamic. They're saying not as many great players. are draftable because many are staying in college longer, and then a new dynamic. Can you get them to work hard once they get to the NFL and they've already made a couple million? That's big right there. We are on to our next topic. You guys enjoying our time with the great Dustin Woods. This is a Super Bowl champion. He's got a ring he's going to show us before this is over. This is a Super Bowl champion and also Olympic champion strength coach, you guys. So this is as high as it gets on the strength and conditioning side of things. We are on to our next topic, and Guru, we'll start off with you. Our president says, let me jump on in this game, this NCAA game, and see what I can do. And he signed an executive order, Guru, and he said that enough is enough. Enough is enough with the NIL. We're not doing 9 years no more. You can be in college. Dustin could still be in college if he was coming out today. He said, we're not doing that no more. He said also, you get one mulligan. You get one chance to go in the portal, and that's it, unless you graduate or your coach leaves. He says 5 years to play 5 years on the field. So no more 4 years on the field. He says 5 years to play 5 years on the field and then get your butt out of college. Guru, is this a thumbs up from the president, or is this a no-go in the Guru's mind?
Oh no, this is a definite. I can actually agree with Trump on something. I think that's reasonable, man. I mean, you got to look at it like this, man. And I mean, again, man, look, big ups to Indiana, but you got to think, man, if you got some 28-year-olds playing against some 19-year-olds, like, come on, man. So we have to put some type of cap on it. I really do agree with that. And I mean, to be honest, it's going to be interesting to see how it affects some universities, man, that do have, man, these older kids that are, 25, 26 years old, T. Like, when we were in school, the only time you saw kids that old were guys that played baseball. And they came back to school, because they played, farm league and still had eligibility. Other than like Chris Winkie or whatever, but other than that, you didn't see that. So it's like, it's going to be interesting to see, but I can, man, the Guru approves this message.
All right. So the Guru says he is on Trump's side for once. And let's see if Philadelphia Eagle is on Trump's side. Also, keep in mind, gentlemen, it's only one transfer. So that's another part of this, too. There's some other things, too, that pertain to the other sports, but there's only one transfer. So, Dustin, what do you think of this? Do you think this is right on target, or you think it should be something different?
Yeah, no, and this isn't really my area of expertise because I'm so far out of that. We hardly talk, college, but I'll probably get kicked out if I say I agree with Trump. But whoever put that in his ear and influenced him to do that, I do agree because it was getting out of hand. Like the Guru said, I remember I played against a 30-year-old in college who had just got out of the army or, the military or something like that. And yeah, he blasted me. And I was like, man, this ain't right. This ain't right. But yeah, I agree with this. It's just different. I think it's it's a step towards some kind of threshold. So I'm all about that. I think it's good.
Okay, all right. Well, we did need some type of uniform law when it comes to this stuff, the eligibility and the transfer portal. Now, this isn't official yet. If it becomes official, this will be in August, but a lot of you young athletes need to be thinking about this. There's no more I can jump from school to school if this goes into effect. It's one school. You get one school, and then also you only get 5 years, so you're not going to be too old playing college football. So we'll see how that goes, but obviously covering the topics that pertain to you guys. We are on to our next topic, and we're rocking and rolling with the Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl champ. This one was one I definitely wanted to talk about. And Dustin, we'll start off with you. These kids are going through a lot, man. They got to play in front of hundreds of thousands. If you're playing somewhere like Tennessee, in the NFL, you're playing in front of a bunch of people. You've got media that are making moves and talking about your career and your play on the field. Once you get on the field, it's absolute mayhem. And then you got to deal with your family, maybe asking for a few dollars. So tell me, for the athletes listening, Dustin, what's some tips to just keep a calm mind in this industry, in the football entertainment industry? What's Dustin Wood's tips for keeping a calm mind?
Yeah, it's probably not going to be a popular thing that I say, but I believe truly that it comes down to the management of your soul. It's something that is going to give you longevity throughout because and when I say soul, I would describe it as this. It's going to be your mind, your will, your emotions, your imagination, and your affections. And this comes from mentoring. This comes from all these different things. I don't know it all, but I need to manage what's going on my inside as opposed to trying to control the outside because you will never be able to control the outside, right? So you got to go within. And it goes back to what you asked me about all the elite athletes. It's always something within them. And I believe that when you have a better management on your soul, your spirit, however you want to describe it, when you do this and you do it better, you won't take things personal, but you'll take everything as constructive and you'll take everything as a direction. So I'm really big on that. And obviously, the earlier that you can do that, the better it's going to be, because when you need it, you want it to be a mature state. You don't want it to be like, I need it, I got to find it while I'm still trying to perform, while I'm still trying to figure out life, while I'm still trying to figure out, girlfriends, boyfriends, or maybe even kids or money and all that stuff, man. You got to start as soon as you can. And really, that might take the parents, really being advocates of that in the home. It starts in the home. So that would be my advice. But yeah, it's a lot of pressure out there. But, people always have a purpose before people have opinions. And you gotta discover that purpose.
When did you feel like you found that nugget of advice you just gave is profound? When did Dustin Wood find that it was inside?
High school.
Okay.
High school.
Okay.
And I realized the platform and the influence that I had in high school. And luckily I was in a place in the space and had people around me that made me realize that, man, you can use that for good. And the things that you go through, whether it's good or bad, you need to make sure that it's other centered and that you take care of that on the inside. Again, I had great examples and I had great people around me because I'm the youngest of 5 and I have 2 older and a great mom and a great dad. And I came from a stable home. So I realize everybody doesn't have that, but again, there's somebody out there for everybody. You just have to pull people's coattail. And I don't think kids do that enough.
I love that. I love that, Guru. I'm a freshman and I'm starting in the Florida State game. How do I stay calm before this big game?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, man. The one thing I always, man, say for younger players, man, is you look to the veterans, man. I feel like, man, on the collegiate and the pro level, man, like the veterans are gonna pull you through. So if you're a young pup, you out there, freshman, especially a game like that, Florida State, Colorado, Nebraska is a big game. House is rocking, especially you on the road, can't hear a damn thing, right? It's the other, man, 10 guys out there with you, man. So it's the veterans, man, that's really are supposed to be there to really help you out and pull through.
I love it. I love it right there. And then another one is you can never be too prepared. And I know Dustin will agree with me on that. That's going to help calm down those butterflies and those nerves. He's about to have some rookies and OTAs after the drafts. They're going to be nervous. You got to be prepared. So I love it. We're on to our next topic, you guys, and we got a couple more minutes with Dustin. So if you are live with us and you're thinking of a question while we're ripping and running, make sure that you hold it and get it ready for the comment section because your shot is coming up. But Dustin has been through the Locker Room Show before, and he knows what this is all about. This is the lightning round, baby. This is our opportunity to put our guest through a little word association game, a little word association, 60 seconds. Now, this man was fast. He was fast, and you see, he's already stretching and getting ready. This is strength coach. He was fast in his day, and we're going to see how fast. I think he did pretty good the first time he did the lightning round, but we're going to see how he does today. You see, I got him at the double zeros, no cheating in the locker room. And then you guys, hold on, we got private chat. Let me make sure. Okay, I'm checking. Can you guys hear me loud and clear? Okay, good. All right. So with that being said, 60 seconds, you guys. We don't do this for fun. I don't know his favorite place to eat. You know he's got a family, but there's a dinner. There's a dinner on the lightning round. So, Dustin, if you get to 16 or higher, it's a dinner on cue and a dinner on cue from the sports bar. We're going to ship it over Uber Eats. So he's got a dinner on us, and let me get him at double zeros. Hold on, my technology's getting a little funky here. Let me get him back to double zeros. All right, baby, we ready to go. And first thing that comes to your mind, Dustin, first thing that comes to your mind, 16 is the number. Now, we've changed things since the last time you came on. You get one for tech delay, so 15 puts you in the mix. But now we got the strike and goal section, section where you can get two. You can get two for the trivia section at the end, and it's got a little Eagles twist to it. So
I'm nervous that I'm
So he can get 3 extra points, you guys, depending on how he does it. So, all right, let's get into it. Coach was talking too much. All right, first thing that comes to your mind, superstar. First thing that comes to your mind, do not elaborate. I want you to win this. 16's the number. All right. Number one.
Here we
first
go.
thing that comes to your mind, the lightning round. Number one, Purcell Marion High School. Go.
Roger Staubach.
Garlic fries or sweet potato fries?
Garlic fries.
Cooper DeJean.
Oh, man. Unbelievable.
Favorite superhero growing up?
Man, shoot. Yeah, growing up, I'd say Black Panther. Black Panther got to be.
Skydive or run from a bull?
Ooh, skydive.
Best QB you've ever seen in person?
Jalen Hurts.
Jordan Davis.
Committed.
Bahamas or Hawaii? 50 seconds.
Hawaii.
Best thing you can personally cook?
French toast.
Favorite place to eat? Favorite place to eat in Philly?
Outback Steakhouse.
All right. Time. I don't know, man. That didn't sound too convincing.
Wait.
It's the audio.
My man, wait a minute. You're surrounded by the best Philly cheesesteaks in America. My man say Outback, man. Go to commercial, man. I can't do this no more, man.
All right. We're gonna give him 2.
You serious?
We're gonna give him 2 for the tech. But I don't trust the French toe. I don't trust French. That seemed like it took a while. So,
I'm a dad, bro. I'm a dad first.
He said we won a Super Bowl. I'm good everywhere. I'm good for breakfast everywhere. I don't gotta cook. All right. So let's revisit. Of course, our number is 16. And then he gets 2. We're going to give him 2 for tech delay. And then he's got a chance with the strike and goal section. All right. So number 1, Purcell Marion High School. That's his old high school. He says Roger Starback. I didn't know Roger Starback went there. Number 2, garlic fries or sweet potato fries. He says, give me the garlic fries, coach. Number 3, Cooper DeJean, superstar for the Eagles. He says, unbelievable. Number 4, favorite superhero. This got him for a second. He says, Black Panther. Number 5, skydiver, run from a bull. This surprised me. He said, put me in the air. I'm going skydiving. Number 6, best QB you've ever seen in person. Dear friend, Jalen Hurts. Number 7, Jordan Davis, their superstar D tackle. He says, committed. Number 8, Bahamas or Hawaii. He says, give me Hawaii. Number 9, best thing you can personally cook. We all know about this, but he says the French toast. Number 10, favorite place to eat in Philly. He says, I'm going with Outback. So with the 2 on the tech delay, he's got 12. He's got 12. And let's just do it for purposes. We're going to do it for good purposes. We're going to run through the line. We're going to go through the trivia section where he can go get 2 more. So the most he can get is 14. He can be our second consolation prize winner. Do you have a question, a trivia question, Guru?
Of course. So the question for the night is, which Eagles quarterback threw for 4,000 yards and had no wide receiver over 500 yards receiving in that season? Was it Carson Wentz? Was it Donovan McNabb, Kevin Cole, or Randall Cunningham? Who we got?
Dang, you trying to make me look bad. Over 1,000 yards, you said?
Over 4,000.
4,000 yards passing. Nobody over 500 yards.
None of the receivers over 500 yards receiving.
Oh, man. Man. Who? I'm gonna just say Randall Cunningham. I'm gonna hope that's it because I know he was great.
T, is he right?
The answer is A. Carson Wentz. In 2019.
Ertz had all the yards, no receiver.
Yes, indeed. No receiver. You're right. Ertz had all the yards. And so it's a little tricky. So we had a great time tonight with the great Dustin Woods, and truly appreciate you, man. So pumped up for what you're doing. Before we get out of here, a young man watching this, he's working his tail off, Dustin. He wants to get to that level. He wants to get to the level of the Saquon Barkleys, the Jalen Hurts. What's a good piece of advice for that young man listening tonight?
Yeah, I think the big thing is you can't lose if, again, I'm talking about this becoming. You can't just come into a place and do the things that you want to do. You have to already be that type of person who does those types of things because that's what you come with every day. And if you do that, you're going to gain a whole lot of ground, not just on the field, but off the field. You'll catch the eye of somebody. And even if you don't really make it to your goal, you can always kick the back door in. I'll tell you what, I would rather have a career that I'm doing. This is my 8th year in the NFL. I'd rather have that than have the average of 3 years being in the NFL any day. So I become what you really want to become in all facets of it. So, but that can work out for you if you do become that as an athlete.
Wow, there you go. So you young athletes can take it to the bank. This is somebody said 8 years. Wow, that goes fast. In the NFL, you guys, you don't stick around. It's for coaches too. You do not stick around unless you're legit. So thank you so much time tonight, Dustin. You know I love you, man. Keep up the great work.
Love you too. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the ring. Splickety splack.
There it is, folks.
Yeah.
Man,
that's what it's all about, baby. That is what it's all about. All right.
There it goes.
All right.
All right, baby. We'll see you. All right, you guys. So, hey, that is the great Dustin Woods, man. I mean, Q. He said, you know what? I got an NFL dream, but it doesn't just have to be on the field. It doesn't just have to be on the field.
Yeah, and people forget that, man. I mean, man, it's being a position coach, it's being a strength and conditioning coach. A lot more kids, man, that are, these kids that are going to school to get an MBA, become an agent. It's a lot of different ways to eat in this game, and you don't
Yes.
always have to have a helmet on. I get maybe in most cases that's ideal, but don't get it twisted. These guys that you hear these contracts going across the screen on ESPN, well, it was an agent that negotiated that, man. And it's agents out here eating, right? So don't. It's a ton of ways, right? You can get into medicine and be a sports medicine doctor. We've had sports medicine doctors on this show. It's a ton of different ways to eat in this game.
A ton of different ways, you guys. So be creative, man. Obviously, get it on the field, but always have your plan B or have your, maybe that turns into your plan A. But you guys will have access. And while you have access, think of some other ways to get it too. Think of some other ways to make your hey. Dustin was a hell of a receiver. He was an NFL level type receiver. But like he said, no years in the NFL as a player, 8 years in the NFL as a coach. And he's young when it comes to coaching. So he's got many more years to come.
Hey T, you know what I meant to ask him, man? We gotta text him after the show. Is I found out a fun fact a little while ago. Did you know this is another good one from the Guru Garfield? Did you know that Plies was a wide receiver at Miami of Ohio? I just wanted to know, was he? Yeah. Plies was a wide receiver at Miami of Ohio. I just want to know, were they there together? And I meant to ask him that.
Well, speaking of there together, man, his big break was Sean McVay. Sean McVay was a wide receiver at Miami of Ohio.
That's right.
He was older. He was older than Dustin.
Right.
Took him under his wing. When he saw Dustin coming up in strength and conditioning, he took care of him. That's why he was with the Rams before the Eagles. So, you student athletes out there, who are you next to in the position line? Who are you going against in one-on-ones? Because the person that you're standing next to might actually be the person to give you your break. So be cool with your teammates because one of them may be an NFL head coach one day.
I'm telling you, real talk. So y'all definitely run this back. Hey, hit the button. Definitely, man, subscribe, man. We gonna keep bringing it. It's the off season, but the off season is shorter than a kneeling roach. So I'm telling you, hey, man, it's right around the corner. School's about to let up. 5 months. That's it, man. Hey, whoever ain't on the track, you better get there. I'm gonna keep saying, if you're not a legitimate baseball player, you better get on that track. I'm telling you, because it's that time.
Yes, indeed. And I see the great Coach Hughes coming in. He's saying good word and relationships. I see Snoop coming in. Thanks for joining us, Snoop. Make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button if you're joining us for the very first time. And then also realize that we're more than just content, you guys. Before You Go Pro actually works with athletes across the country. We've got a ton of resources for you. Dustin Woods is one of our athletes, you guys, who went on and did big things. Q has got a big time ebook out about how to brand yourself in this day and age with NIL. So go to Amazon and check out Beyond the Gridiron. That's from our very own Guru right there. Guru, what they're going to get in that book?
Hey, man, listen, like I said, it's understanding how to trademark, understanding copyright. And I also put in there just, man, the mental aspect of the game, man, the mental part off the field. We always talk about, which is absolutely great, what Dustin does as far as strength and conditioning. But we don't talk enough as far as an industry on the mental aspect off the field, man. And that's very, very important. And that's something that separates the great ones, from the mediocre too. That's where the cream rises is the mental aspect of how they approach the game as well.
There you go. So go cop that book from Amazon, Beyond the Gridiron. That's some branding. This is the NIL era. Dustin talked about a lot of these guys are already coming in with money that he's working with, you guys. So go get your piece of the pie. Do it the right way. We see the great Coach Munoz coming in. Greetings from Texas. We love you guys. Run this one back if you didn't get to see it from the beginning, Ernest, because Dustin definitely gave us some great advice, some great sauce. So we are going to wrap this up. We got another great guest next week. No off season. Another great guest next week to serve you guys. We love you. I'm Coach Wood. That's the Guru. We'll see you at the top, baby. Have a good one.